We've got to get the infrastructure, coordinated infrastructure right the first time, because it's the only opportunity you actually really get. So on the Gold Coast, on the southern end, of course we see convergence of light rail, heavy rail and M1 as the population base actually converges with the geography. There is only one way you can do that. You've got the M1 upgrades, which are necessary. The heavy rail connection will need to still occur from Varsity Lakes to the airport. It is absolutely fundamental to the Gold Coast economy to be plugged into the heavy rail network across southeast Queensland, fundamental. And then the light rail, the only place logically it can go is along the Gold Coast Highway.
Certainly it's a fantastic event. It's great for the Chamber of Commerce to bring such influential people from us across the state and sort of nationally together to talk about what's a super important topic, which is sort of transport on the Gold Coast, and also as well, you know, where transport's going to end up in the future on the Gold Coast as well.
If we're sitting here in 2030, let's just pull a number out, you know, how would you describe transport and our connectivity on the Gold Coast in a sentence or two?
I think we'll have more electric vehicles. The Minister's pushing me very hard on electric but also hydrogen-powered vehicles. We've got the largest electric vehicle charging infrastructure in the world, from Cairns down to here, from Brisbane to Toowoomba. We're pushing very hard on electric buses, and there's a lot of work going on with our colleagues in Bus Tech.
Different modes of transport is probably what we're going to start seeing a bit more as well in the transport network. As far as, you know, can we use electric bikes more to get into the areas where there is more congestion? Can we use robotics, etc., automation? And we've been trialling in FedEx in the US, we have robots that will go out and do the delivery. So when Chris is talking about contactless, I think we'll see more contactless things come out.
Oftentimes when I think about cities, you know, people want to move around. They want to have livable cities, and that means moving around, accessing things when they want to. And we live in a world where things need to be more personalised. And so oftentimes the work that Vera is doing is actually finding ways that we can allow the solutions to meet customers' needs, but in a way that actually gets people sharing resources. So I'm a big activator of the two A's, which is active transport and aggregated transport. So we should either be walking or cycling, but if we're going to jump into a vehicle, let's make sure we're not jumping into it by ourselves. We're actually sharing that ride. So we've got fantastic networks of transport up here in Queensland, jumping onto a train, onto a route service. You know, Via does a lot of work with on-demand services, which oftentimes is filling that first and last mile aspect. So I think it's really important to have these different modes of transport, but again, making sure it's either active or it's aggregated.
I think we're doing everything we can on providing new infrastructure, trying to attract and retain people to the transport network, and that will be difficult until we're through COVID-19. Encouraging more walking and cycling and active travel, and stitching it all together with new technology while we can. And the new generation ticketing is probably the biggest single IT project we've got in the state at the moment.
If we're going to see this place remain livable and attractive, then we also have to manage the growth by ensuring that we can move around the city and move around easily.
As we look ahead, it's going to be a really important focus for us to ensure that connectivity works, because we've got a great opportunity here. It probably doesn't, you know, if you think back to Brisbane Airport some time ago and how hard it used to be to get to Brisbane Airport before the roadworks were done. Of course, Brisbane Airport's got the rail connection as well. We've got the roadworks happening at the moment, and that's, you know, that'll take a while, but once that's done, that's going to make a huge difference. And of course, light rail has already been spoken about. I don't need to go over that. So I think it's really encouraging, though, to hear that heavy rail is on the agenda, because quite often that drops off the list when it comes to a discussion.
So it's been great to hear everybody talking today about those key transport challenges for the Gold Coast that really need to be addressed to improve connectivity for the Gold Coast into the future. We've heard about a lot of these things before. There's been some really encouraging comments today around heavy rail to the airport, which is really exciting, light rail stage 4, and then just making sure that that road connectivity is as good as it can be.
Oh look, there's no doubt the transport infrastructure is absolutely key to the economic future and jobs here on the Gold Coast. The M1 upgrade is going really, really well. Looking forward to starting construction on the Coomera Connector, or the second M1 this year. And of course the light rail, we're getting ready for stage 3 Broadbeach to Burleigh, where we've already started early works. So there's literally thousands of jobs, billions of dollars going into the Gold Coast from the Palaszczuk government, and it's needed for the 6th largest city in Australia.